Hey everyone, welcome back. So this is going to be the part two of that series where I'd go over the mid game. So I'm just going to continue on from that last game. So right now, the game's getting 11 minutes onwards. Towers are starting to break, objectives are up. Um, I want to kind of talk through what thought process in my thought process and some of the steps that you guys can take in your own games to carry a game. So, right now, I remember thinking, okay, it's starting to get into mid game. So, and I'm got a lead. I got to start impacting the map. Bot is actually was losing pretty hard. Top was doing good, but the game's in a favorable position. It's just about closing out right now. So I remember thinking, okay, what's the state of the map? Jax is pretty strong. Bot lane's not doing too well, so I just want to play to my jungler right now. So this is my first piece of advice. Um, right now, there's no reason for me to lean bot side anymore because they've made a play. It's nothing's gonna happen anymore. My jungler's actually doing things on the top side of the map. So what I want to do is play to the top side of the map here. You'll see me constantly lean to whatever side. I'm constantly leaning to the side where there's going to be action, where I think there's going to be action. So what I see Tryndamere overextended top. So I want to get this wave in as soon as possible to stop Tryndamere going for this tower. So I roam up here, and then he ends up trying to all in Rengar, but then he just dies. So people would think, okay, what do you do now? You're stuck in top right now. Aurelia is still pushing mid. What do you do? So my biggest thing, and what I see my number one first tip is you have to stay focused on farming even when it's past laning phase. So what I mean by that is when you've made a roam to top here, just get someone else to cover mid. Or just accept reality that Aurelia's just gonna get a bit of chip in your mid tower. Stay top and push it out while you're here because it's super inefficient for me to leave this and then go all the way mid where my minions are gonna die anyway, and then I have to yeah, I just get nothing. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna farm it up. And so this is my first super important tip: farm, farm, farm. Just because you're ahead and you've had a lead in laning phase, you always got to farm. And now, since I pushed this out, I'm not just derping, looking at my lane. I'm thinking, okay, I've got TP. How can I impact the map constantly? And then I see Aurelia looking to roam bot. So I TP. And this is my second tip: is constantly scan the map. There's never a downtime. Even when you're coming out of base, you'd be thinking, where should I go? Where should I be? It's kind of a continuation of laning phase, but the same thing applies in mid game. And I wouldn't have been able to make this TP play if I was just derping, looking at my minions farming top, constantly scanning the map. Next, so this is actually what not to do. So look at what I do here. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with for going with Dragon here? What's the biggest thing? So my jungler's doing Rift Herald topside, my top lane is in base, and my Ezreal's pushing bot. And look at my mana. This is just a no-no. This is just what not to do. You constantly, like I said, it's the same as laning phase. You got to play around your team. And then I realized, I'm like, what am I doing? Curtis, get out of here. So I end up getting out. And what this does is kind of ruin my tempo a little bit. So I decide to base. So next, what do I do? I'm thinking, okay, Aurelia's back mid. I'm just going to match my counterpart, the person I want to match. And when I'm Orianna, a lot of the time I like to stay mid a little bit longer than usual. So now, okay, where's Aurelia? I'm not sure. I want to try and find her. So I'm like, okay, bot's overextending. They're overextending for a tower. Let's see what I can do. Again, see what I'm doing? I'm always leaning on the side where I think action is going to be. I don't think anything's going to happen around Jax right now. They can't kill Jax. So what I'm thinking is, okay, if I lean here, let's see if they start to move. And if they don't move, I'm just going to continue and see what happens. And again, they don't respect my roam. And this will happen all the time. And I come up, um, get a clean double kill. And again, this is all based off the fact that I'm just leaning to the side constantly that I think action is going to happen. It's as simple as that. So I go back to mid. Again, try and valuing my farm as much as possible. Using my corrupting pots. Farm, farm, farm. Farm, farm, farm. Now, I want to reset. I think everyone should reset now. We've made the play. We've got the dragon. I've got not much mana and health. Everyone should look to reset. So Thresh resets. Everyone resets. So now coming back out on the map, what do I see? Okay. I'm like, okay, now Ezreal should be going mid now. That's what I think. I think Ezreal should be going mid, but he chooses not to. So I end up just doing my blue, going to mid, catching a wave, getting this next wave because no one was on this mid wave, so I'm just going to get it. Choose to Rift. Nothing too fancy yet. Game's getting quite clean. Push it out. Again, farm, farm, farm. So, now, the game gets a little bit sketchy here because I thought we are going to do like a mid to bot rotation here. I was, again, leaning on the side where I think action was going to happen. If I play this back here, I actually thought that, okay, we're most likely going to rotate mid to bot here to help Jax and get this tower. So I'm looking to like kind of maybe get a bit of vision down, or I see Brand walking through, maybe get a bit of poke off. But yeah, he kind of goes ham and then I get out. So, but you can kind of see the premise. I'm still always trying to lean. So I take a big chunk, and I think that this play is pretty hard to execute now because I'm quite low. But again, see how I don't just mindlessly group. The play's done, so I constantly focus on my farm. Even at this point in the time, I'm still 153 CS at 17 minutes, which is pretty good. And then because we made a pick here, I made the call that we should actually continue the siege because I knew that we had an Ezreal. We had some long range champions, and they can't really deal with the poke. So we end up setting up a little bit of a siege here. And again, if we had champions that can't poke and siege under the tower, like if if I was an assassin and that was like a Lucian or something, I probably wouldn't call for this play, but purely because based on that fact, decided to go for that. Now, this is very, very, very important. What are these people doing wrong? We can no way get this next tower. Everyone's coming back up. We've used a lot of time getting this tower. It's time to reset. And on the way out, what you do is always look for camps on the way out. See what I'm doing is getting these camps on the way out, and then I'm looking to reset. And then I see Brand here, and I know he warded, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna kill you on the way out as well. So again, get camps on the way out, reset. Now, this is where it gets very interesting. This is where it gets interesting. Now that the AD carries in mid lane, I need to do something that's not in mid lane, right? And this is where people go wrong majority of the time. So what I'm doing right now is thinking, okay, I want farm on the way through. I'm going to get all these camps, and this is how mid laners in mid game stay on par and farm, and they don't get behind. And what most people I see in lower elos, they'll just group mindlessly, and then they will get behind and farm. And look at this, still 170 farm at 19 minutes. I get the scuttle on the way through, so I've gotten 3 camps, and I'm like, okay, I'm all good. My team's pretty safe. I'm going to go to top. And remember, and if you're not sure when to split or group, I made a video on that, and you can actually, I'll put it in the description below, and you can refer back to that. But the similar fundamentals here. I know that I'm so far ahead that, and my team's so far ahead that they can't engage on the Ezreal and the Thresh purely because either lack of hard engage or how far ahead we are. So I'm just pushing out top here. So push, 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 farm, farm, farm. I'm not just mindlessly grouping. And again, I'm playing to my team. I mean, they're playing to me as well. It really ends up all ending me. Sorry, Zhonya's. My team's here to back me up, and it really actually does a good play to get out. So, what do we do wrong here? And you'll see what we're about to do wrong. The correct play here is to just reset. We've used all our abilities. I mean, I've used all my abilities. Rengar's dead. Jax is dead. Dragon's coming up. We don't have any more vision. Like I'm pretty sure he's out of wards. The play's done. It's over. So this is where we should all back up, reset. We've got the waves in anyway. It's time to reset. But we get cocky here, trying to overstay for this tower, and we get punished for it. And Ezreal dies, and Thresh dies. I try to save him, but he dies to Ignite. So again, I could already tell you. We could already, if you were switched on, you could already tell that was a bad play. I should have pinged everyone to back off there. Again, what do I do with a reset? Let's see. Come out of base. Again, someone's got to catch mid wave, so I'm thinking about mid wave. Then I remember thinking, okay, someone's got to go top now, so I go top and tell Ezreal to go mid, get blue on the way through. Push, push, push. Even though my team's grouping, I want them to play to me. So again, I remember pinging them, be careful mid, because I don't want them to do anything mid. So again, push, push, push. Keep continually pushing. And now, okay, the reason I don't go for that next wave is because notice how they hadn't pushed out mid yet. If they had actually had pushed out mid beforehand, I probably would have been safe because they would have been able to back me up and hover me topside, but they hadn't done that yet. So what I do, I decide to just group for the meantime, in the meantime, because both I don't feel safe getting that next wave. And again, this is all in the split and group video as well. But again, I know my team wouldn't be there to back me up if I go for this wave. So I decide not to go for that wave and I decide to group for the meantime so they can get the shove on mid. Then, once I've got the shove on mid, I feel a little bit more comfortable walking up here. So we kind of look for picks. To be honest, this is a bit of a waste of time. I should just be pushing top this whole time. I just thought Rengar would be able to get a pick. Clear some vision. All right. So what we do here, again, push, push, push. I feel pretty safe because my team is just pushing up mid and they're, again, hovering to me. Oh, Rengar's hovering to me, so I feel quite safe. End up getting the tower. All right, done. I can't really go any more here. So what I want to do is group because I can't really push any further, right? My team comes, they end up dying. All right. So here, all right. Reset. And so notice even now, 225 CS at 23 minutes, purely because I've been focusing on my farm. I end up TP just so I can get my spell book, so I can swap to exhaust. Again, pushing out, pushing out, pushing out. I'm never just mindlessly grouping. Always pushing out. Again, Thresh is hovering me, and Ezreal had to push mid, so I felt like pretty safe to walk up here. But now, because Rengar wasn't in position, I had to come and group with the team. Again, I'm coming, and notice how it's the same thing. I'm grouping with the team to get control of the area before I push out the side. We blew a flash. Again, playing patient. And then I see Jax coming to group, so I'm like, all right, let's go for it. Let's go for a fight here. Kill, kill, bang, and then we actually end the game off this push. Simple as that. So again, I want to kind of break this down into some key fundamentals, some dot points that you guys can instill in your own games. One, if you're ever ahead in your laning, so you get ahead in your laning phase, you must always continue to focus farming no matter what. Just because you're ahead, it's very easy to slip behind. So constantly farming, whether it's creeps in the side lane, minions where someone else isn't, or jungle farm on the way to a lane. Secondly, always lean to the side where you think a play is going to happen. Three, um, whether you push that next wave, like when you're in the side lane, if you know, if you need to think, okay, should I push this next side wave or not? Again, you need to look at the rest of the map. Am I safe in being able to push this up? If I'm not safe, okay, what's the next thing? Go mid and help them get control and then go back in the side lane. Notice how my constant mindset is, how can I get as much farm and strong as possible? And do it with consideration with the location of my teammates. It's as simple as that. And then um, again, grouping when I feel like a fight's going to happen in terms of, and I know a fight's going to happen here purely because I saw one of my teammates rotate, and we'd already pushed out. I already, no, sorry. If we actually go back here, the reason I the reason I knew a fight was going to break out here is because yeah, Jax had the push here, and we'd gotten the control, and Baron was up, and we knew that they had to come contest us at Baron. So we get a nice little flank here. So again, this is all dependent on the rest of the map. I'm constantly looking at map assessing who's moving where, why are they moving there. Do I have the necessary information for me to push up here? It's constantly about pushing waves, 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 waves. And the mindset's not kill, kill, kill. It's how can I get as strong as possible throughout the waves.